Okay. Okay. Good evening to everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back, Rabbi Stern. We had a.
What are we doing here?
enjoying the Siva of Torah. Okay, so we had a machlokes yesterday. What happens in a situation where a man would give a woman, this is money almanas le'en l'rabbi reshuspa, that your husband that doesn't have reshus in it. Was the meaning the shaila that Rabbi said that a person cannot go at an eved, can't be meicher es atzma, he can't be meicher himself. Why? Because mashkan eved kana rabbi. So Rabbi, what was the lumdis? As soon as the guy said kini be kaina, right? It's anything almanasi afterwards. Essentially, it's too late because as soon as she received it, showing it was in the hands of the adain, not she, the eved. It was in the hands of the adain because mashkan eved kana rabbi. So memela the almanas that the adain does not have master is not chal because it's too late. Whereas the chachamim said no. The chachamim seemed to say that it doesn't work that your hand. We spoke at the lumdis. Later, the hand of the eved is the hand of the rav. Later, chachamim, the eved has to be kaina, and once the eved's kaina, then the rav is kaina. But it's in the eved's hand, so it's shaykh. That zman, it's shaykh to make an almanas. So we saw that Rabbi Meir was machmir kaviyachol, sort of, and the chachamim were matter. So we're going to ask a stira, a lumdish stira, and to understand the stira, we have to go to a pasuk in the Torah. Okay, Vayikra Chav Zayin. Okay, Vayikra Chav Zayin pasuk Lamed Aleph. What does it say? We've been doing Parshas Bahar. We're doing a lot of Bahar. Lamed Aleph, right? Okay. V'chol Maisa Oretz Mizera Oretz Mipria Eitz Lashem Hu Kodesh Lashem. Meiser is Kodesh. In Gol Yigal Ishmi Maisra. If a person is Goyal is Meiser Sheni, Chamishisa Yosef Alav. He has to go ahead and add a chaimish. So, for example, if a person has $100 worth of Meiser Sheni, and it's your Meiser Sheni, you're bringing it to Yerushalayim, and you paid that $100, it's going to cost you $125. Again, it'd be either 120, 125, depending if you're going to go a fifth or a quarter. He's going to pay. If, however, another person's paid it, it's $100. So the unique halacha that was about a man being paid his own maisa, he's going to have to go ahead and pay a chaimish. Good. With that in mind, on the bottom of Chaf Gimel Amid Beis, V'Rami de Reb Meir ad Reb Meir, we have a stira in Reb Meir to Reb Meir. V'Rami de Rabbanan, we got a stira de Rabbanan. The Tanya, Ein Isha Poida Maisa Sheni B'Loi Chaimish. Now the Havamin of the Gemara is we're speaking about the Maisa Sheni that came from the field of her husband, right? And she is considered the husband, and therefore it's considered she's a Baal. Ein Isha Poida Maisa Sheni B'Loi Chaimish. In other words, is considered Maisra. It doesn't say Masra, it's Masroi. She's considered an owner. So therefore, if she's going to be Poida, she's going to have to add what? She's going to have to add a fifth. And again, the Havamina is, it's going to change. The Havamina is, if you look at Rashi, Kasal Kedaitach, B'maisa Sheni, Shu Mistei Baila, Shehi Kebaala, she has a loch of a Baal, the Karina Rei B'masra, as we just saw in Lamed Aleph, Ukim Mefarish Lov Azla, as the Gemara will explain. Good. That's that. Who is that? That's the Chachamim. Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Mishum Reb Meir, Isha Poida Maisa Sheni, B'loi Chaimish. An Isha can be paid the Ma'aser Sheni without a chaimish. So we have machlokes. According to the Chachamim, she's a Baal, and according to the Rabbi, she's not. She's being paid in our scenario 100, doesn't have to add anything. Okay, how is this a kasha? Hang in there. Okay. Hechidami, what exactly are we speaking about? In other words, what's the mitzias of the case? Ilema bezuze de Baal, umaisa de Baal. So in other words, it's the field of it's the parents of the husband, and the money of the husband, and she's being paida, shlichusei de balka avda. So what's the svara of Rav Meir that you don't have to add a chaimish? She's simply the shliach of the husband, going ahead and redeeming the husband's crop with the husband's money. There's no svara whatsoever to say that the woman should not have to eat a chaimish. No svara whatsoever. So therefore, if that's the case, it's a problem. Why would a mayor argue and say that you don't have to eat a chaimish? The Ella, what must be speaking about? Bezuze dida, machlokes Rashi Taisus, let's stay with Rashi. Bezuze dida nichse miloig. The money is her money from the nichse miloig. Umaisa didei, and the field is his. And the field is his. So the money is not his. The field is his. And she's being poida. So guys, can we view her as a separate person totally?
Yeah. It's her money.
Is it any different than Rabbi Avi or Benji being poida? It's her money. It's his field. So what's the svara of the chachamim that you have to eat a chaimish? So the two cases we gave, the first case is shver according to Reb Meir. The second case, if it's his money in his field, shver according to Reb Meir. Why he's not about? And if it's her money in his field, it's shver according to the chachamim. Why do you have to eat a chaimish? So in other words, we're grappling what exactly is the case over here where we have machlokes. So therefore. Now, that you don't have to. It must be the following case: the aknele acher mana, someone was makna to her money, right? This is your money on the condition that you're paid in the maisa. So now it's speaking about the husband's field. It's speaking about the husband's field. Now, is it his money or not his money? So watch. If it's his money, then you have to eat a chaimish. If it's not his money, then you don't eat a chaimish, correct? So now, says the chachamim, who said by Eved, you could be kind of the money, so that in other words, that the Eved could be kind of the money separately, and therefore he can be paid himself the kesav de atzmo. Over here is saying the opposite. When you're saying ain't paid unless you have the chaimish, why? Because the husband is the owner of the money. So meaning it goes directly to the husband and not through the woman. And Loi Reb Meir, who said kesav de atzmo doesn't work because the eved's kind of right away. What happens? It's in the hand of the adain. Over here is saying no. Over here it's saying it's by her. It doesn't belong to him. And therefore you don't have to get a chaimis. So Fred the Gemara, the Ibcha Shemana Lahu. We're hearing the exact opposite. Okay, I'll again, never convinced that I raise my voice to understand it better. So we'll go over it again. Okay. So we had a machlokes yesterday between Reb Meir and the Chachamim. Like Reb Meir by Eved, the Eved, the master requires it, the Eved doesn't require it. Over here, the fact that Reb Meir says that you don't have to get a chaimish, it must be the Isha's acquiring it. Because if she didn't acquire it, then it belongs to the husband. It's off his field. So the fact that you don't have to get a chaimish is a raya, the money belongs to the Isha. Mashakana Isha kana abayla, and the answer is no. You don't say that. Yet on Mashain, and in the same case, and Mashain came by get. The Chacham said no. The Eved does acquire it. Reb Meir was the opposite. Reb Meir said by get, the other acquires it. Therefore, he doesn't have money to be paid himself. Yet over here, what's he saying? Over here, he's saying that what? That no. He's over here, he's saying that you are acquiring it. Why? Because it's considered your money. Since it's your money, you don't have to get a chaimish. So we have a stira minei ubei. So says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi, Eipach. Okay, switch it around. Switch around this Tosefta Ma'aser Sheni that Reb Meir is the one who says that your paida, you have to add a fifth, and the Chacham say what? You don't have to add a fifth. And the Chacham say you don't have to. That's one way to do it. Okay, Rava Amar. If you have Rabbi, you have Rava Amar Lo'ilam like Tapech. Don't switch it around. The Hacha b'Maisa the Asam even Nashi Askinon. We're speaking about money. Peiros that kami nechsemi like. A husband, excuse me, if a wife is married, she inherits something. So Rashi says she'll inherit peiros. You'll sell the peiros, take the money, and buy karka. And now that karka, she owns it, but the husband has the peiros. But the husband has the peiros now. So this is considered Ma'aser Sheni. Now, on Daf Nun Beis, we're going to get to a very famous machlokes on Daf Nun Beis in this Masechta. Hamakdish b'chelko. If someone is magdish with kesef Ma'aser Sheni, if someone is magdish b'kesef Ma'aser Sheni, what's the thing? In other words, you took Ma'aser Sheni, you were paid it, you have the money, you're going up to Yerushalayim and you're going to redeem it for food. You take that money and you Mekadesh Shanisha, you Mekudeshes or not. Well, if it's your money, then she's Mekudeshes. If it's your money. If it's not your money, then not. That's a machlokus later on. One, according to opinion, who says Mekudeshes is because Ma'aser Sheni belongs to you. According to the Remeya, Ma'aser Sheni belongs to Hashem. He lets you eat it, but it belongs to Hashem. Therefore, the remain if Remeya Kaddish so now says Rava, with that idea in mind is very good. We're dealing with Maisa that came to her, and now the husband Remeya Tameid Amar Maisa Mamin Hegdishu. Maisa is Mamin Hegdish. Maisa is Mamin Hegdish. And therefore, since it's Maisa is Mamin Hegdish, the Baal does not acquire it. Since he doesn't acquire it, he's not the owner. If he's not the owner, you don't have to add a You don't have to add a chaimish. For Rabban l'tamayu the Amar Mamin Hedyet that it is Mamin Hedyet and it does belong to him. The Kani le Baal Hilkash Sichusay the Baal Kavda. Let's see Rashi over here.
You can't compare the cases.
Let's see Rashi over here. Right, it's a side lumdis. Yeah. It's a side lumdis. Says Rashi Al Menashe Tifti Shetia Kiish Acher. You should be like not the wife. You should be a separate person. Liftais b'lei chaimish in order to be paid without a chaimish. Rabbanan Savri Ki Amala Kini Kanale Baila. When you said Kini, the Baal is Kaina. The Chiyamala Al Manas Lav Klumhu Hilkach Zuzu Havinami the Baal V'Shlichusa of the Ish Mimaisrei Karina Bay. V'Meisava Lidida Gufa Layaknila Elahachi Shetehei Kiish Acher Liftais b'lei chaimish. That was the stira. So what's it speaking about? The Aisim Ibn Nashia, Shemes Avia, her father died, and she, I guess she was the first. There was no brothers, whatever, but she inherited. You know, it's V'Hoyaloi Maisa Sheni, and there was to the father Maisa Sheni the Arashta Imshar Nechasim, and she inherited along with other property. She inherited this Maisa Sheni. The Yerusha Abala La'achamikan Nichsei Miloighein. A Yerusha that comes after marriage, after Nisuin, is considered Nichsei Miloig. The Yilakach Behen Karka, and you'll buy karka with it. V'uaychel Paris, and he eats the Paris. Remeil Tameid Amal Kamam Perik Beis Ma'isa Mamin Gavayahu Vachi Lasay Mishulchan Gavaya. Hashem gives you a right to eat it. Hilkach Einoi Kishar Nechasim Lemiknei Bal B'Takanta the Tikkun Rabbanon. It's not like other than the chasim that the Rabbanon were talking that the Baal can acquire Paris the Baal. Hilkach Leizachi Bei. Fellas, when this guys, what's happening over here? This person's giving the money and saying this money is almanas that you paid the Ma'aser Sheni, right? Okay, so that was the kasha, right? So this money that's not the case. The case is the following case, where she inherited something. That money that she inherited has a Kidushin Ma'aser Sheni. Loira Meya, that money the Baal can't get it. If the guys, anyone she acquires it, the Baal can't get it. Why? Because it's Mamin Gavaya. So therefore, if you use that money to go ahead and redeem, you're not considered an owner. You're not considered an owner. Mashenken, according to Chachamim, that it's Mamin Hedyet, right? It's no different than any other money. That if the woman acquires it, you acquire it, right? You again. So that's the svara over here, right? You could what? Oh, Ma'aser Sheni. I mean, she is no. What's she redeeming? The Ma'aser Sheni itself. The money you're taking regular money and you're being paid the Ma'aser Sheni. You're taking regular money and you pay the Ma'aser Sheni. So Remeya says, "Dam come on Perik Beis." Again, one more time. Ma'aser Mamin Gavayahu v'achilasei mishulchan Gavayahu hilkach ein k'shar nechasim l'neknaya Baal b'takanta the Tikkun Rabbanon. It's not like any other nechasim that the Baal goes automatically to the Isha. Paris the Baal, Hilkach lezachi bei. The Baal's not zeichen in it. The chiparki le bezuze the Baal. When she used the Baal's money, lav mi maisrehu the zuze dechad u maisa dechad. Very geschmack. You're taking kesef of the husband. Good. You're taking kesef of the husband, and you're taking that kesef to be paid these crops. This crops is Ma'aser Sheni. Good. Ma'aser Sheni. Then no. So the Chachamim are of the opinion that this is Hedyet money. If it's Hedyet money, it's classic Hedyet money. So it's your money. going ahead and getting your field. Therefore, you have to separate a chaimish. You have to get a chaimish. According to Rabbi, it's not like that. Good, it's your money, but it's not your payers. The payers belong to Hashem. So therefore, it's like it's being totally someone else being played up, and therefore there's no adding a chaimish. But it's nothing to do with the actual kinyan. It has to do with the fact that either it's yours or not yours, right? Let's see Rashi. Then that last Rashi, Rabbanon Tamayu Dami Momin had Yiru, V'chayla Takanta the Rabbanon, and therefore the takana of the Rabbanon is chal the Maisha kana Eved kana Isha kana Baila Uperis the Baal Kishanich Semiloig the Kivin the Bezuze the Baal Parke Boy Chaimish. Okay, let's go. Let's speak it outside. Let's see the kasha and let's speak out the teretz. We have a stira. The mayor says that you're not kind of by Eved. He says you are kind of by Ma'aser Sheni. Chacham say you are kind of by Eved. They say you're not kind of by Ma'aser Sheni. So what's happening is the following. Let's get the given. The money belongs to the husband. The kesef belongs to the husband. That's the kesef belongs to the husband. The shaila is on the peiros. If the payers belong to the husband, then you have to eat a chaimish. Of course, it's his money and his payers. If the payers doesn't belong to the husband, then it's money of one person, payers of another person, and that you don't have to eat a chaimish. The Meir holds that Ma'aser Sheni does not belong to it; belongs to Hashem, and you get to eat it. So that's the following. So she acquires payers. Good. She didn't grow in a field. She acquires payers. Now he has money. He wants to redeem it. It's not his payers. It belongs to Hashem. So therefore, lot of Meir hold you don't have to eat a chaimish. You don't have to eat a chaimish, guys. Like, however, the Chachamim Ma'aser Sheni is no different than anything else. You can be Mekadeh Shanisha with it because it belongs to you. Oh, 1 second. Good, it's your wife's field, but it's your payers, so it's your money, your payers. What's the din? You got to eat a chaimish, and that's so. In other words, it's a unique din to Ma'aser Sheni, and there's no need to be the shaila. It is no need to go ahead and switch around the shittas. Okay, yeah, you good, Rabbi Avi? You good? We're all good, Baruch Hashem. Abraham, where you been? I didn't ask you if you got it. I asked you where you've been. Yeah. Okay. Don't recognize you without sitting in the car. It says the Gemara Vaita. Pana. Okay, in the Torah, in the state, in Kaf Aleph, we have Shmos Kaf Aleph. Now we said that an Eved goes out with Kesef Shtar. We had a Machloikis, three Machloikis between the Reb Meir and the Chachamim and B'Shem Ben Elazar, but everyone universally agrees that the following scenario, the Eved's going to go 3. It's in Shmos Chaf Aleph. It's Pasuk Psukim Chavav and Chav Zayin. Okay, so what does it say? If a man hits the eye of his Eved, I think I hear Dr. Press drooling. It's Ein Amasai, or the eye of his maidservant, the Shichasa, and it destroys the eye. The Shichasa, lashon of destruction. Lachovshi yishalchenu, 3 you should send them. Guys, look at the order. It doesn't say yishalchenu chavshi. It says chavshi, 3 you should send them. Tachas eino in lieu of the eye. Vim shein avdoi, any dentists over here? And Mordechai is a dentist, but he's not here. Dr. Dov. Vim shein avdoi, shein amasa yapil. Again, lachoshi shalchenu tachas shinoi. So this is called shein va'ayin, and an Eved will go free if it's again doesn't say accidental. It's mashma that he has to have it in kivun, and we're going to see that it's not only shein va'ayin you go free. You go free 24 other Avarim, you would go free. However, there's a distinction between the two fellas. Shein va'ayin, you would not have to give a shtar shichra after you free them. They're out. We're going to see a machloikis by the other 24. After it happens, you'd have to go ahead and free them as well. You have to free them as well. Okay. Kana yoytze b'shein va'ayin, you go b'shein va'ayin. And you go v'rashi Avarim. Okay, guys, rashi Avarim. Let's go out. We're gonna Gemara in the garden. 10 fingers, 10 toes is 20. 2 ears is 22. Nose is 23. By a man, the tip of the aver is 24. By a woman, the dodim, her breast, a 25. Good, a 24. That's by interchangeable man and woman. Now, the Rashi Vom Shein Chaysim. Now, Bishleim B'Shem V'Ayin Ksivi. It says in the Torah openly, as we just read. El Rashi Evarim Minol. And how do you know the other 24? It says Gemara Dumi Dev Shein V'Ayin. We're learning out from Shein V'Ayin. Mas Shein V'Ayin Mumim Shebegoloi. Shein V'Ayin are mumim that are easy to see. Bein Chayzrim, and they are permanent. They don't regenerate. Af Kol Mumim Shebegoloi. So to any Mumim Shebegoloi and a Chayzrim. So if you cut off a le'aleinu, cut off a toe or a finger, right? These are Mumim Shein Chayzrim. They don't go back, and therefore what? Therefore you would be what? You free. The aim when the have Shein V'Ayin Kishnei Ksuma Ban Ke'echad. V'chol Kishnei Ksuma Ban Ke'echad Ein Malamdim. So Rashi tells us something over here that you should have heard on Brachas Daf Aleph. Ein Malamdin Midloi Kesiv Echad. When you didn't write one, the Nigmar Kulu Memenu, I learned out one from it. In other words, the Torah doesn't waste its words. The Torah doesn't waste its words. If you wanted to learn out universally a din, say it once and you learn it out universally. Why do you say it twice? The second time it's to limit to this instance. In other words, only Shein V'Ayin. So we want to know, where do you know the 24? You can't learn that from Shein V'Ayin because Shein V'Ayin are limited to Shein V'Ayin since there are only two things. You would learn that if you want to learn them all out, it's just one. No. Sricha, fellas, when you have to say both, you could learn out from Shein V'Ayin, but it's not Shnei Kesuvim because you wouldn't know one without the other. Sricha. Dikas Echman and Shein, if you would have wrote Shein, if you not got the tooth, I would have thought, I feel Shein the Chalav, a first tooth. Shein the Chalav means a baby tooth, right? Kasrachmana ayin. So in other words, dafka ayin, that has to be something permanent and not one that will regenerate, like a second tooth, like a baby tooth. Because rachmana ayin, hava mina ma ayin shenivra imoy, something that's that he's born with. Af kol shenivra imoy. So too everything is born with him. Avol shein, but teeth that only come in later. Loy, I would not know. That's a tzricha. So says the Gemara now the following, that what enochinami. It's not Shnei Kesuvim because I wouldn't know one at the other. Now we can learn out Rashi Evarim just like Shein V'Ayin. Aj Davar Shebegoloi, and they don't regenerate. So to any aver that is what? That is any aver that is a mum Shebegoloi, it's open that you could see, and it doesn't regenerate, you would go free. Fred Gemara the following. Now, guys, let's go back to remember Klalu Pratu Klal and Ribu Emiyut. The aim of the following: Kiyaka ish is avdoi, right? A person goes ahead and he hits his eved. Kiyaka ish is avdoi. A person goes ahead and kisses eved. Oyes eina masoi v'shichasoi lachavshi tishalchena. Why don't we say that what the Kiyaka klal shein v'ayin are prat? They're specifics. What's the rule of hermeneutics? Klalu pral ein prat ein bechlal elomashe beprat shein v'ayinin midi achrin uloi. In other words, you're learning a Memet Sinu to learn out Uresh Evarim. Let's limit it, guys. I got a rule. If a man hits his Eved, guys, look at me. If a man hits his Eved, when you said that hitting his Eved is mashma, which part of his body. That's it. That's the implication. But now, 1 second, you're getting very specific. He hits his Eved. Where does he hit his Eved? Either in his eye or in his tooth. So now we have a rule. If you have a klal and then a prat, a specific, Ein bechlal elamashe beprat. Shein v'ayin are the only specifics, nothing else. So what are you learning at Rashi Evarim? Just learn out what? Shein v'ayin. That's the Gemara is asking. Let's just learn out what? Shein v'ayin. Says the Gemara the following. Lachovshi, for freedom you shall who you should send him out because of a klal. So you have a klalu pratu klal. By adding the klal, it's adding onto the prat. Klal pratu klali atadan el kena prat. Something that is like kain, similar to the prat. Now, what's the prat over here? Ma prat mafurish mum shebegoloi. Both that loss of an eye or a tooth are revealable. Vein chaysim, they don't regenerate. Af kol mum shebegoloi vein chaysim. So what we learned out on Amid Aleph from Mehmet Sinu, we're learning out from Klal Pratu Klal on Amid Beis. The Gemara iman ha prat mafurish mum shebegoloi ubatam melachta vein chayser. Batam malachta means they can't do their work anymore. So if you knock at a person's eye, you can't see anymore. Knocks out a tooth, you can't chew anymore. In other words, I'm adding another rule to the prat. Not only does it have to be an open, a revealed mum shebegalui, not only does it have to be one that won't regenerate, it also has to be one maybe that you can't go ahead and do its job. Alamatran, on this we learned, tolish beziknoi, if a person grabs onto another person's beard, and as a result of grabbing onto that person's beard, the dildel boy etzem, and you dislocate his jaw. Now it seems to be that's the bone that is going to fall off inside his mouth, and that might go ahead and dry up and not being used again. Every yotzem and lecheres, and ever would go free. That would be considered a hakah that never would go free. Right? So therefore, what? So what do you see? That even when what? It's not baltam malachta, because the person would still be able to chew, despite the fact that his jaw is a little dislocated. He would be able to chew. So l'chayr, you see that the rule is not a good rule. You know, we're asking on your rule. Your rule is 1, mum shebegoloi. 2, that it doesn't regenerate. And now you're adding a third thing, maybe that you lost the ability to work. Well, in second, I have 1. This person's going free and does have ability to work, right? Says the Gemara, okay, says Rashi, we're leaving klalu pratu klal, guys, and we're entering the realm of ribui miyot. As we spoke out many times, ribui means the cup is full, and miyot means you took out something. So in other words, it's going to be a mayat less. So therefore I'm going to include even a dislocated jaw. Right. Ribuhu, afilu hikol yadai. If you tell me you include everything, afilu hikol yadai. If you hit him on his hand, the hand withers away. However, v'seif alachser, it will get better. Nami, you should be able to go. You should be at this point in time. You should go free. Allah matanya hiko al yadai v'tzamcha v'seif alachser ain't never yatsa balacheres. In other words, if you tell me derech riboy miyot, so the should go free. If you hit him on his hand with such a powerful blow that it's going to be wither away, even though it comes back. But says the Gemara in Cain, Shem v'ayin ma'yahanile. If you're telling me you would include that, why does Shem v'ayin help? So it must be Shem v'ayin comes to be Mayat something, and would be Mayat that case. Okay. Tanya. Hiko al yadoi v'tzamsa v'seif alachsa. No, Tanrabanan. The kulam eved yotzevem lecheres. The kulam means all of the 24 evarim. It goes to cheres. However, if it's sarach gets shechra, divrei Reb Shimon. Look at Rashi, fellas. The kulan go up a little bit. The kulan arashe evarim koi. You know, it's going on all the rashe evarim. If sarach gets shechra, what do you need to get shechra for? Lahatiroi bebas chayrin. To mata a bas chayrin, to permit him to get married. In other words, let's divide up, fellas. Let's divide up the kinyan in an eved in 2 ways. 1, the owner has a kinyan mammon in that eved. He has a kinyan mammon. He owns that eved. And there's a second in that this eved can't marry a Jewish woman. This eved can't marry a Jewish woman as long as it's an eved. When he knocks out one of the 24 Evarim, so that just takes care of the Kinyan Mammon part. No longer is he in your jurisdiction as an Eved. It didn't take care of the permit to marry a nation, to marry a Bas Yisrael. For that, you would need to get Shechra. It's a very nice distinction we're cutting here. In fact, however, as we'll see in Taisus in a second, that's the difference between Shein va'ayin and all of the 24. The other 24 you would need, in addition to going free, you need to get shechur. By Shein va'ayin, it says Yishalchenu Chavshi Yishalchenu. Chavshi, she's free. He's free. Then send him away. You don't need the what? You don't need to get, because the Torah is telling you distinctly you don't need to get, as we'll see in Taisus in a second. Okay, so let's go through this now. Tanabanam Kulam, all the Rashi Evarim, Eved Yotzim Lecheres, but Tzarech gets Shechur. Divrei Shimon. Rabbi Meir ain't it Tzarech, you don't need. Rabbi Lazim it's Tzarech, you do need. Rabbi Tarfon ain't it Tzarech, you don't need. Rabbi Kiva it's Tzarech, you do need. Hamachriyim Lefei Chachamim, those who would go ahead and decide for Oimrim, near and dear Rabbi Tarfon that you don't need b'shem v'ayin. The Torah is achsalai. The Torah is mizakehim. The dear Rabbi Akiva b'sharei varim. Hoil v'konas chachamim who? Knas who? It's not a knas. Kroy Kidushin. We darshin from the what? From the Ribui Yishalchenu, right? Yishalchenu, Lachosh Yishalchenu. It says Elohoyelu Medrash Chachamim. Since it's a Medrash Chachamim. Okay, since it's a Medrash Chachamim. Now, what's the Medrash Chacham? Let's see Taisvis. Hoyel Medrash Chachamim. Who? Pirish. Mishem Hachi Omar. The Bishar Devarim, aside from Shem Va'ayin, Sarach get Shechla. Bim Taimar, Frek Taisis. Uma Bekach, that you dash in the words of the Chachamim. Hoyelu Medrash Chachamim, who? Like Kama Gufei Torah Tuluyin, Shenaboyin Elmi Koyach Drasha. Fellas, you're telling me, by Shem Va'ayin, which is open in the Torah, that you don't need to get Shechla. But the other 24, which is a Drashas Chachamim, you do. Frek Taisis. How much Torah we set for the last 3-4 years learning this contingent upon Drashas of Chachamim? That's not a svar to be machalik between Rosh Eivarim and Shem Va'ayin. Therefore, Nir Rabbeinu Tam, the Getzeh Eina Ela Midrabanan. You don't really need to get. If you knock out Rosh Eivarim, the same way you knock out Shem Va'ayin, you are free. However, right, what do you need to get? Shema Yimtze'enu B'Shuk. The Yoimaloi Avdiata. He'll meet him in the street and says, "You're my Eved." If you say Eina Medrash, you do a Olam, because it's not known Rosh Eivarim. Every person knows Shein Va'ayin. We don't call it Rosh Eivarim. You call it Shein Va'ayin. You're saying Eved goes free. What? Shein Va'ayin. Every kid in the Cheder knows this, that you go free. If you knock out your Eved's eye, you knock out his tooth, you go free. They don't know if you go ahead wide and you cut off his finger. They don't know about a toe. So says Rabbeinu Tam, Memela, since that's not well known, to avoid the master coming back and saying, 1 second, you're mine, Midrabanon, you right to get. But Einachinami, the Rosh Eivarim and Shem Va'ayin, there's no difference intrinsically in breaking the Kinyan Mammon and breaking the Heta to an Isha. There's no difference according to Rabbeinu Tam intrinsically. And this is only the Rabbanon that you would require a get. That's Rabbeinu Tam. Continues Taisvis. The Riva Pirish, the Vadai Shem Va'ayin Dechsiv Behedya Bikra, that's written openly in the pasuk. V'alayu Ksiv Lachavshi Yishalchenu, and on that pasuk it's written for freedom you should send them. The Mashma Chavshi Meikara, without anything else, no get needed. Ubahap Pshitale, Delay Gama Shiluach Shiluach Misha. We don't learn out the Shulchami Beisai and from the Chavshi Yishalchenu from the Shulchami Beisai, and that you need to get. Well, the Chainin Sarach get Shechra by Shem Va'ayin. Aval Shar Eivarim Deloy Nafka Elami Surah Yishalchena. They learn out from the Ribui that it says the word extra Yishalchena. Vadai Bahachi Gemiri Shiluach Meisha. Well, the Chain Sarach Law get Shechra. It says the Riva. It's not a din the Rabbanon at all. Says Rabbeinu Tam, there's no intrinsic difference, guys, between Shein Va'ayin and what? And Shar Eivarim, nothing. The reason you need by Rosh Eivarim you need to get is to avoid the guy coming along because it's not a well-known drasha. But there's no difference. According to Riva, there is a very, 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 very huge difference. And here's the difference. You look at the Torah, the pasuk says the following. Again, it says the following. V'chiyakish es ein avdoi, oy es ein amasoi, v'shichasa, lachavshi. Lachavshi, meaning send, lachavshi, free. How? Totally free. Yishalchenu is the connection to an Isha. Just like an Isha needs a get, you need a get. It says by Isha v'shulchami beisai. It says by get Yishalchenu. But since it says chavshi before Yishalchenu, there's no havamina that you need a get. Where do you learn that Rashi Eivarim from? The word Yishalchenu. Since you learn out the word Yishalchenu, it's mamish like an Isha. So of course you need a get. That's the Riva. And that's what he means over here. Beautiful Taisvis. So now let's go back to the Gemara now. Says the Gemara. Comes along the Machrichim and they make a chilik. What's the chilik? Between Shein Va'ayin, right, and Shein Va'ayin and Rosh Eivarim. Right? What's the difference? Hoyel v'knas chachamim hu knas hu kroihu. Ela hoyel medrash chachamim hu. Since it's the medrash of chachamim, meaning therefore it's not well according to Rabbeinu Tam, guys, and therefore it's not well known as the Rabbanon. According to Riva, therefore the Chavshi is not, it's not stated on it, it's Yishalchenu, and therefore you need it. It's a beautiful, okay. My time of Shimon, that you don't, that you need a get Shechrer, Yolav Shiluach Shiluach Me'isha. It says by Isha, the Shilch Me Beisai, it says by get Yishalchenu. Ma'isha b'shtar, af eved nami b'shtar. Reb Meir, who says you don't need, because of chashi lebesoif, if it would say yishalchenu chavshi kidekarmit, because it says first yishalchenu. But hashda dechsiv, it says the chavshi yishalchenu, havle chavshi meikara. Even before yishalchenu, they're free. Tarabanan. He called einoi. If you hit the Eved on his eye directly, v'sama, and you blind him, al azna, you hit him in his ear, v'chorsha, and you deafen him, Eved yoitzer and l'cheres, he goes free, because you directly hit him. Now, in other words, you didn't knock out his eye, and you didn't knock out his, and again, his ear. Again, you this is Rasha Evarim. Right? You directly hit him, therefore he goes free. However, neged einai, Rashi says, fellas, you hit next to him, you hit the wall, and it impacted upon his ear or his eyesight. The Chari, he got scared. I think Sigmund Freud discussed it. He got scared, and as a result, it caused him to lose his eyesight. It caused him to get right. The ein roya, right? Keneged einay ein roya, keneged oznay vein shemeya, ein eved yotzer in l'cheres. Guys, this is called grama. This is called grama. You caused it. Amrav Shamein l'Ravashi. Remember the kol olav klumhu. In other words, what caused this, fellas? A coil. So it's mashma. A coil is not considered something, right? Now there's a sugya in Baba Kama called sweris, where damage is done through a koyach. If an animal kicks a stone and the stone goes forward and hits something, it's the power of that's being placed in the stone that's causing a problem. What happens if a voice? We know that women who have very high voices are capable of cracking glass. I mean, we had a commercial, Ella Fitzgerald, I think, my Vikias and commercials is correct. I think it was a commercial for a tape. Memorex. Oh, right, Memorex. And they'd have the tape, and that's Vikias. And you guys are watching television. I think go to waste. Anyway, so it's mashma coil is, I'll prove to you. You're telling me coil is nothing, and therefore it's a groma. I'll show you coil is direct, says the Gemara. But the Tani Romi Bar Yecheskel, Tarnagol shahosid roishay la'aver kli skuchis, a tarnagol that sticks its head into a glass kli, and it crows to takaba v'shavroi mishalim nesek shalim. This is Sumchis who holds Sweris as nesek shalim. Again, the tarnagol never touched the glass. It was the voice of the tarnagol that shattered the glass. That is Sweris. That's according to Sumchis as nesek shalim. Rabbi Yosef Amar Bei Rav Sus Shetzonov, a sus that brays the chamor shenar, and a donkey does the same. The shivroi kelim b'toich habayis mishalmim chasinesek. This goes according to the opinion of the Chachamim that Sweris pays chasinesek. What do you see from both of these cases? That the coil itself is considered a masik. It's not a groma. So why, if you go ahead and make a noise connected a person's eye or negative his ears, why is it not considered direct masik and you should be chayiv? So Amalei shiny adam the kivin the bardasu iu mabis nafshe. A person's bardas, if he chooses to be in a state of fear, it's his choice. So therefore, it's considered groma. It's not considered direct. Kiditanya, hamabis es chaver is someone who scares his friend. Again, it's considered groma because his friend can control this fright. Kesad taka ba'aznoi. If you go ahead and hit him, connected his ear, not in his ear itself, but connected his ear. The chorsho when he becomes deaf, potter. However, achzeu, if you grab onto him, the taka ba'aznoi, the chorsho chayiv, because by holding onto him, it's considered more direct. It could be now that he has no choice; he has to stay in that jurisdiction. Whatever it is, it's considered direct damage. Tarabanan hikara leinoi v'kasa. Now his eye didn't go; he didn't totally lose his eyesight. It went dim. Al sheinoi, he knocked him in the tooth. V'nidadad, it made it loose, but it didn't come out. If he's able to go ahead and use them now, ain't ever yaitzer in the cheres. Then lav ever yaitzer in the cheres. That's the one thing. In other words, as long as he has usage, albeit not with the same eye strength as initially, or chewing power as he had previously, you still would not go free. Tanya Idach and other bases says, his eye already was dim, the summer, and you totally blinded it. Shinoi neduda, his tooth was loose, you knocked it out. Im yachal l'shtamish behem, all right, kvar, eved yoitzer in l'cheres. Before he was able to see or eat, in other words, he was able to use them before. but now he's in a compromised state because now he can't see it all, and now he can't chew it all. Then we go to cheres. Vim lav, if he was not able to go ahead, what? Vim lav, ain't ever yotza ben the cheres. Vim lav, if in before, I guess beforehand he was not, he couldn't, I guess beforehand it wasn't, he couldn't use it beforehand, so nothing changed. So therefore he would not go ahead and go free, right? He would not go free. The tzricha, you got to tell me both cases. What you have to tell me about Tiashmin and Hakamais, the first case where he went from nothing to Dima Mishum Demikorin or Hirabari. He had healthy eyesight. Hashtan Harakisha. Now it's dim. So the Avalhacha Demikorin Nami Harakisha. You started off where he was behind the 8 ball, literally, you couldn't see. Well, aim aloi. So I would think he doesn't go free. Tiashmin Ha Mishum Desamia Lagami. You tell me the second case, you know why he goes free? Because now he totally can't see anything because he's blind. Avalhas in the first case, Samya, where you just weakened his eyesight, Legami Emeloi. So tell me both cases he goes free. Tan Rabbanan. Rabbi Reifer, V'amaloi. Oh, you know what? I mean, let's hold off on this. Okay, we'll hold off on this. We'll do this tomorrow. We've been sitting long enough.